Hello friends, this is Kenny here. I'm author of astarmathstutor.com. I'm here to talk about prime numbers today. Remember this our K State 2 series mathematics. Prime numbers. The first thing I just want to the first thing I always do is to try and define what prime numbers are. And a prime number is a number which has only two factors, that is, itself and 1. I'll say prime number has two factors. It has itself and number 1. If you remember the last series where we talked about factors, we learned that factors are numbers that can divide another bigger number without any remainder at all, without leaving any other remainder at all. So you only get a whole integer or you get a whole number. Those are what factors are. So if we're saying a prime number has two factors, we mean it can only be divided by itself or 1. If any other number divides a prime number apart from itself or 1, it will always have a remainder. So that means prime numbers can only divide itself, or it can be divided by 1 without any remainder. Now we need to think about what are the factors of 1. If we think about, if you remember the last series, I told you 1 is a universal factor. The 1 is a universal factor. And what does a universal factor means? A universal factor simply means it can divide any kind of number. 1 can divide any kind of number. I don't care what kind of number it is. If it's 1 divided by 1, 1 million divided by 1 will still be 1 million. 10 divided by 1 will still be 10. So it is a universal factor. So 1 is a universal factor. And now we can just take some examples of exactly what examples of prime numbers now. Those are numbers that can only divide by itself or 1. If I write up to from 1 to, let's say, up to 20, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. You will find that, like I told you, 1 is a universal factor, so we can't really say 1 is. We can only say 1 is a prime number because it can only divide by itself or 1, still 1. And then 2 is also a prime factor because it can be divided by only 2, not to give a remainder, and it can only be divided by 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 2 divided by 1 is 2. The next prime number will be 3. 3 is a prime number because it can only be divided by either 3 by itself or by 1. Another prime number, 4 is not a prime number because 4 can be divided by 2. So, and that will give 2. So 4 is not a prime number. 5 is a prime number because 5 can only be divided by 5 without giving any remainder or by 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Choose 5 divided by 2 will always give a remainder. So the next one, 6 is not a prime number, 7 is a prime number, 8 is not a prime number because it can be divided by 2 as well. 9 is not a prime number because it can be divided by 3. 10 is not a prime number because it can be divided by 2 and 5. And then 11 is a prime number because there's no number that can divide 11 except 11 and 1. 12 is not a prime number because 12 can be divided by 2 and by 3 and by 6. So it's not. 13 is a prime number because the only number that can divide 13 is 13 and 1. 14 is not a prime number because it can be divided by 2 and 7. 15 is not a prime number because it can be divided by 3 and 5. 16 is not. 17, yes, there's no number that can divide 17 except 17 and 1. 18 is not a prime number. 19 is a prime number because it can be divided by only 19. And 20 is not a prime number. So if you look at this, you can actually see a pattern here. You will see that most of the prime numbers actually can either end with the number 3 or 1 sometimes, or 7 sometimes, or 9 sometimes. So the only reason how you can easily know a prime number is to know that prime numbers are numbers that can only be divided by itself or by 1. So that's the end of this series for now. And this is Kenny Lowe. If you want to get more tutorials about this kind of KS2 math series, just go to astarmathstutor.com and you can get loads of videos on this. Take care and God bless. Bye bye.